The Fort Worth City Council received a report today from H. Grady Helm, chairman of the Community Relations Commission. The commission was initially formed in 1967 to advise and consult the city fathers on matters of racial, religious, or other forms of discrimination. Today's report suggested that commission members be allowed to take part in any investigation, police or otherwise, which might be possibly related to racial misunderstanding. Helm emphasized that he was not suggesting that the commission suspected any wrongdoing, but that they hoped to aid in communications where any city governmental body conducted an investigation affecting members of a minority group. Acceptance of the request was generally favorable. Councilman Frank G. Dunham, Jr. said he was unalterably opposed to a civilian review of police action. Councilman Edward W. Gwynn expressed anxiety about, quote, disturbing the equilibrium, end quote, now found in the Fort Worth Police Department. Both were assured that no such actions were intended. The matter has now been set for further discussion 2 weeks from now. From the City Council chambers in Fort Worth, Jerry Taft, Channel 8 News.
Solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of councilman
of the office of councilman
of the city of Dallas,
of the city of Dallas,
Dallas County, Texas,
Dallas County, Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
And I furthermore solemnly swear
And I furthermore solemnly swear
that I have not directly nor indirectly
that I have not directly or indirectly
paid, offered, or promised to pay
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
contributed nor promised to contribute
contributed nor promised to contribute
any money or valuable thing,
any money or valuable thing,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment
or employment
as a reward for my appointment.
as a reward for my appointment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
If you be seated.
The continuing effort to maintain and improve relations between the city of Fort Worth and the city's various racial minority groups was the main topic of conversation at the City Council meeting this morning in Fort Worth City Hall. The councilman heard a report from H. Grady Helm, chairman of the Fort Worth Community Relations Commission. He cited 3 incidents of police action which were misunderstood, he said, by some members of minority groups. Helm noted that some people feel there are cases where the pieces don't fit together or where police action may not have been justified. According to his report, the basic problem is communications, and the Commission wants to aid in investigations in order to explain to those minority groups involved exactly what is being done and why. Councilman Frank G. Dunham, Jr. asked whether Helms was proposing a civilian review board to examine police action. Helms replied, "Such a board is the furthest thing from my mind." Dr. Edward Gwynn of the Council complimented the work of the CRC, but said he would like to take the suggestion under advisement. He noted that the integrity of the police department must be preserved and that he would be opposed to any action which might disturb what he called the equilibrium which now exists in the Fort Worth Police Department. Upon questioning by Mayor Pro Tem William R. Sarsgaard, Chairman Helms said the Commission was not suggesting a joint or parallel investigation, but rather a participation in any investigation which might possibly be a source of interracial misunderstanding and conflict. The Council moved to set the matter aside for 2 weeks and to reserve their reactions for a report at that time.
I think before long, if we have these tests more frequently, that people will begin to listen for the sirens and will let us know if they are unable to hear them. If they let us know perhaps, why didn't you conduct your test today? We have been expecting it today. The program in Dallas is moving very well. We need more shelter spaces, particularly in the neighborhood areas. We simply cannot get people to shelter even using the maximum morning time available. We can't get all the people that we'd like to shelter.
Once upon a time, this was Dallas, but we needn't remind you it's not like this anymore. This is part of a giant photo mural exhibit here in the lobby of the One Main Place building. The exhibit title is Dallas, New Directions. The oldest of the murals depicts Dallas as far back as 1872. In back of the murals are several scale models of Dallas of the near future. These depict the full Main Place complex, City Hall, the Convention Center, Thanksgiving Square, and Griffin Square, all of which are set for completion by 1973. But Dallas and the One Main Place people aren't content at just changing the skyline.
The traditional Christmas song tells of the 12 days of Christmas, so they've gone one bigger and better with the celebration of the 20 days before Christmas. In the next couple of days, here in the acre-large One Main Plaza, this giant fountain is supposed to cascade twice a day at noon and 8 p.m. After the fountain display at noon, the entertainment varies each day. Choirs and bands of all sorts are taking turns greeting the shoppers and visitors to this acre-sized plaza. The first of the 20 days swung off to a beginning today with the North Texas State University Lab Band and special guest artist Rich Madsen. So Christmas swings in and into Dallas. Teal Salon reporting.
This is Dallas Civil Defense 639. This is an alert warning test. Acknowledge and identify, please. Thank you.
Colonel McCoy, how successful are these civil defense tests?
Well, we learn a lot from the test. This is the first that we've had now in a couple of years, and we are able to determine pretty much whether or not the sirens are being heard in certain areas of the community and what the community reaction is to the test. So, in my judgment, they are a very necessary part of the overall civil defense program and its relationship with the community.
Now, the last time we had a test, there were some complaints that the sirens couldn't be heard downtown. Has this been remedied now?
Well, my information that I have so far indicates that the people on the streets can hear the sirens with no difficulty. One of my staff members was at Main and Akron, and he heard 2 sirens sounding very loud and clear. Another gentleman was in the Fidelity building having lunch. He heard the sirens. But I'm sure that there are a lot of places in some of the larger buildings where the sirens cannot be heard. It'll have to be handled on an intra-building system whereby the building management notifies its occupants that the siren, the warning is being conducted.